Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Anime Lounge Short Flights. Today I'm going to be covering episode 23 of Frieren Beyond Journey's End. Really fun episode. I really enjoyed it. That ending cliffhanger, whew, man, gave me chills. I am so looking forward to what happens in the next episode just because of how intimidating the ending was. It's going to be so good. But this week was really good. It was a really quality episode. You got to kind of learn why Fern still studies magic, because if you've noticed throughout the entire series so far, she doesn't really feel like she enjoys it, but she does it for Frieren, and I absolutely love that. I think that's a great concept. And you got to see another side of Frieren, while also that flashback was fantastic. I loved it. It just that whole so many things can happen in there, and I really felt like it was very true in the fact that you got to explore every part of the dungeon. But let's kind of break down what happened in the episode. So we finally know what the second part of the test is going to be. You're exploring a dungeon. The proctor basically was like, "Yep, this is what you got to do. It hasn't been explored in its history. It's super old." Sure. Also, you get a day and a half. That's it. By tomorrow morning, or excuse me, by I think it's dawn the following morning if you're not there. Well, shucks, sorry. No other stipulations. You got to make it to the bottom. Crazy concept. And she was like, basically there was some pushback, and they're like, well, if nobody's ever done this, why do we have to do it? Why is this our exam? And she brought up a good point. It's like first class mages are supposed to be the people that essentially do this. Like we're supposed to be the ones that explore something nobody's ever done. So why can't we expect you to do it if that's what you want to strive to be? No arguments. Completely get it. So, all for it. I also love the fact that she was like, you know what? I'm going to go with Frieren and Fern. This seems like the group to follow. And then, of course, you get some self doubt. She gets some self doubt, and you're like, oh man, I don't know if this was supposed to be the group I followed. And then later on, of course, she comes back after some stuff happens. She's like, yeah, okay, I'm cool with this. Because of course, this is probably one of the few times, if ever, that she has interacted with an elf. And well, Frieren is a unique individual. We'll put it that way. And her interaction with Fern and Fern's kind of story about why she is still studying magic, still using magic, because she doesn't really seem to enjoy it. That coldness that she has every time she uses magic. But you learn that, while she might not necessarily find it the most enjoyable, she does it because she wants to help make Frieren happy. I am all for it. I think that's a great concept. It makes for very interesting story writing because Fern can go in any direction. We know Freyren's going to be there kind of forever, but what do you do with Fern? It gives a nice clean break at the end of the series if you wanted it to, where she's like, you know what? I'm done. I've done all I can do to help make Frieren happy, and this is it. Or it could go any hundreds of different directions. So it'll be a very interesting journey through that part of the series. But back to this one, I I thought it was really fun. Just Frieren being like, nope. Hummel basically told me, you need to explore every inch of a dungeon because you never know what you're going to find. True. You never know what you're going to find in a dungeon. Do it on every single RPG game where I get to try to get to level 100 before I get through the first dungeon. And I treat all dungeons like that. I want to get everything I can. Just makes the game easier, makes the dungeon easier in this case. So that's what they're doing. The very end of the dungeon was super badass. You pretty much get a mirrored copy of the individual. Everything's exactly the same. And then that cliffhanger that left me in chills where Freyren's floating up in the sky looking like her menacing self. Ooh, I'm getting chills just thinking about it. It was so awesome. A perfect way to end this episode because while it was a really good episode, there wasn't a whole lot of action, but they're telling you, buckle up, next week is going to be Super awesome, super action packed. I cannot wait. It's going to be so good. Is Frieren going to help basically defeat herself? Is the fake Frieren going to destroy everybody else? I can't wait. I'm super excited. But that's all I got for this week of Anime Lounge Short Flights. Please make sure to check out the Anime Show on Facebook and Instagram. Also, please subscribe to us, drop a like, and leave a comment. What do you think of Frieren so far? Have a good one.